Hey there, welcome back to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we're doing an album review of Hollerado's Retaliation Vacation. This is the fifth studio album from the Canadian alternative rock band. They've had an interesting trajectory to their career thus far. I first heard them back in the early 2010s with one of their early singles, Juliet. This one was featured on a Rogers commercial. Since then, they've kind of faded on me for a few years. I never really kept up with their sophomore release, White Paint, which came out in 2013. Fun fact, that sophomore release was meant to come out with this companion album or bundle album. It was really meant to come out around the same time, but Hollerado had to delay that release because they screwed themselves over in the way that they wrote this album as having songs individually written for each of the fans who pre-ordered White Paint, their sophomore album. They cut themselves off at 111. That's right, 111 songs written for fans who pre-ordered their sophomore release. And if that's not ambitious, if that's not making music for the love of your fans, then I don't know what is anymore. So yeah, ever since then, I've been giving Hollerado massive respect and love. They deserve it. I mean, not a lot of the songs on the 111 song project are really memorable to this day, but the fact that they stuck by their promise and gave the fans what they initially said they were going to do, that's incredible. They're a humble group of guys to think that they could have gotten away with that promotion. So, I mean, they stuck by it. I'll give them that. And they put out a lot of music, basically on the same level of what King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard went on to do just a couple years back. Moving on from the prolific output, however, Hollerado released Born Yesterday, their album from 2017. I thought that release was great. Not only did the singles find success on the rock and alternative rock charts in Canada, but cohesively, that project had a great number of tracks top to bottom, all very catchy. Sure, it was a little rough around the edges with its lower quality production, but once I heard the singles for this new album over here, Retaliation Vacation, I knew we were in for a treat. The production was crisp, it was pristine, everything was mixed really well together, and guess what? What makes this album even greater is the fact that the melodies have come back. They are on par with Born Yesterday, but the fact that this production is so much better this time round, I think this is now my new favorite Hollerado album. Jumping into the track list on this Hollerado album, though, Retaliation Vacation, we get the song Straight to Hell. This is an acoustic guitar-led track with groovy and hypnotic bass lines thrown in there too. Lyrically, this album opens up with this apology and this fine sense of self-awareness. We ironically get this protagonist who is not really wanting to apologize for finding a sense of purpose in life, but he apologizes nonetheless, and that is so Canadian. The brass instrumentation as the solo in the bridge section of this track is phenomenal. I love the congas or the bongos, whichever instrument is really thrown in there at the tail end of the track, Straight to Hell, is great. And then we get this bleed into the next song, Speechless, which is ironically throwing in a load of muffled speech. Speechless is the second cut on this album. This is featuring a kids choir. We get some na-na-nas, and believe me, I'm not really the biggest fan of the millennial whoop, but for some reason it works on this song, along with the basic piano chords in the chorus and the anthemic guitar solo. Everything is just gelling really well, and I am loving this song. Just when I thought the kids choir was only going to make an appearance for one track, we get them again on the third song on here, Days Without Sugar. On this track in particular, though, Days Without Sugar, the kids choir is really used to bring out this scary kind of tone to the track in the bridge section for sure, but the chorus is still remaining really easy and really easy going. Overall, the song is very catchy, it's very poppy, and on the track as well we get some fuzzy bass juxtaposed to the reverb guitar tones. The lyrics are interesting on this track as well. Unapologetically, we get someone who's acknowledging that this person and these kids can't live without their sugar, and it's like this metaphor for the sweet moments of life, basically. And to go along with that, the hook is extremely sugary, and this track is great. Moving on to Time on Earth, this is another cut on here. I love the pulsating synths. I said that in my Hot and Cold series. I still love this track. Moving on to SOS, this one, I feel like it has one of the more forgettable melodies on here, but it's still a decent song. King Kong is a cut on here that has very lush production with the synthesizers. We get these added layers of guitars in the chorus that really just push this to another level. We get another song on here called Get Over It, and I'm loving this song for the sing-along shouting style vocals and the lingering low-end synthesizers as well. One Last Time is the next song on here, and this one is very danceable. It's the single I would go to if you're looking to know what Hollerado sounds like. Then we get the song
Back to the Start,
which is one of the weaker cuts on here, but I gotta say, it's really only because it feels like the production is a little too sterile, a little too clean, a little too crisp. Especially with the drums, they are played really loudly at the beginning of this track. I wish the production could have matched that kind of raw energy that was being put into the recording. Either way, the song is still good in my mind, and the monotone delivery of the vocals here kind of varies things up and puts more of the focus on the dynamic shape and the driving pulse of the bass, which I definitely dig. Wrapping up this album with a little touch of madness, that is the closing track on here. I love the fact that Hollerado are expanding their outro here. They throw in a lot of warped guitars with the solos that they throw in there, a lot of fuzzy guitar tones as well, and the entire outro is just distorted by the time you get to those final seconds. Overall, lyrically, Hollerado went for this life lesson that can really help anyone find purpose. It's something that is pretty applicable to anyone if you're having a tough time finding where you want to go in life, if it's with your job, if it's with a relationship, if it's with faith. And yeah, I'm really amazed with this new Hollerado album. I'm feeling a 9 out of 10. I think this is an amazing record. There weren't too many low points, and I think this one will end up being one of my favorite albums of the year. So yeah, sound off down below in the comments. Let me know what you think of this record. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new in town, and yeah, go check out this Hollerado album if you're looking for new artists to check out, because I don't think they're as well known as I'd like them to be. So yeah, as always, have a rockin' day.